And just like that, the November 6 major is over and done with. Over a full month of competition wrapped up just this past week with 6 days of Asia-Pacific action to decide the online major champs for 3 different sub-regions. There's a lot of ground to cover, a lot to recap, so let's dive in. I'm Caliber Jacob, and this is the Asia-Pacific recap for the November 6 major. Contrary to the first 3 weekends, Asia-Pacific needed 6 days total to complete their brackets because we had competitions in APAC North, Oceania, and South Asia. So let's break things up and start with APAC North. We saw Giants Gaming, Cyclops Athlete Gaming, Cloud9, Xavier Esports, Fav Gaming, and Guts Gaming playing in a single elimination bracket, with both Giants and Cyclops getting a first round bye as the top 2 seeds. And we began with Xavier against Fav for the right to face Giants. Safe to say, this game wasn't even close, due mostly to Fav's odd choice of maps and side selection. They opted for attack first on Xavier's map pick of Cafe, then chose to play Consulate, a map they've never played in Stage 2, and the time made them pay dearly for their mistakes. Guts Gaming and Cloud9 would face off next for the right to face Cyclops, and C9 came into this tournament as the winners of the August major, and weren't just gonna let anyone take their crown. Against Guts, both teams went to battlegrounds they were very familiar with, and after 3 maps this time, C9 started looking like the Korean powerhouse they're truly shaping up to be. Now we move into the semifinals, and this is where teams with buys in the first round came back into the fold. Giants placed number 1 overall in Stage 2, and all they had to do was defeat Xavier to punch their ticket to the grand final. They did it in 3 maps, but the one map that they lost was close enough that it probably should have been just 2. Xavier pushed every map to regulations end at 12 rounds, but both Consulate and Cafe went the way of the Singaporeans and sent Giants all the way to the end of the bracket. On the other side, Cyclops' bye ended with them somehow being the last hope for Japan to see a team make it to the grand final. Of 3 Japanese chances to win, suddenly only CAG was left standing. And against Cloud9, did they truly stand a chance? No. Both Clubhouse and Oregon are maps that C9 played and won quite a lot in Stage 2, and Cyclops never set foot on them nearly at all. Plus, if you're gonna take Cloud9 to Oregon, you'd better be prepared for a fight. And Cyclops wasn't prepared for this one. The grand final between Giants and Cloud9 then is a rematch of the same final from the August major, which saw C9 winning and taking that major crown. But Giants were out looking for revenge, even if it meant taking the Koreans the full distance to victory. And the full distance they went. 3 maps, all of which went to overtime, all came down to 1 round that Cloud9 weren't able to successfully recover from. Giants successfully countered C9's Oregon playbook, and then it was all downhill from there. Giants Gaming claimed their first big victory in a major since the org acquired the roster in January and gave the gatekeepers of APAC their oh-so-sweet revenge. On to Oceania then, which only had 3 teams and 2 games. Okami, the Pittsburgh Knights, and Wildcard Gaming played in a bracket with 6 invitational implications. Wildcard needed to win their 2nd major in a row if they wanted enough global standings points to make it to the big dance. They would face the winner of Knights against Okami, who played in a preliminary final matchup, and this one wasn't even close. Okami torched Knights in record time, scoring a 14-3 round record over 2 maps and never allowing the opposition a moment to breathe. Since adding Specca to their lineup a couple of months ago, it's clear that Okami are still a force to be reckoned with in Oceania. But could they finally defeat Wildcard in the grand finals? Well, the reigning OCE champions from the August major won that title for a reason, and even despite Okami winning Oregon and keeping things tight on both Cafe and Coastline, it took Wildcard forcing a 4th map where the challengers completely fell apart. Wildcard stood strong on a Consulate defense that completely stalled Okami's aggressive style and won their 2nd consecutive major title in a row. Finally, let's discuss South Asia. Siege's newly minted subregion still might be unknown to many fans worldwide, but they're developing rivalries of their own brand of Siege domestically and have been doing so for years. This was a standard semi-final bracket between L2K, Monka S, Mercenaries, and the August Major champions in Union Gaming. In the first semifinal, Mercenaries made fast work of their Monka S opponents, never allowing the Indian squad to have a lead at any point over just 2 maps and setting themselves up for another major grand final appearance. On the other side, the Sri Lankan team of L2K gave the defending champs a much tougher fight, as Union would be forced to win their first map in overtime, narrowly lose the second one down to the wire, and had to stave off elimination when the last map also came down to the 14th round. In the end, however, the South Asian Grand Final would be a rematch of the August Majors. Mercenaries and Union have proven time and again that they are the best teams that this region has to offer. And Union won this matchup last time the stakes were this high. In one of only 2 major Grand Finals that went the full 5-map distance, it was incredibly back and forth. 1 map to Union, 1 map to Mercenaries, then another map to Union, and another map to Mercenaries. The final battleground selected was Oregon, and playing 5 maps in a row can sometimes be tiring for teams when stakes are this high. But on this day, Mercenaries proved they had the stamina to persevere and slammed the gate shut on Union's chances. Congratulations to Giants, Wildcard, and Mercenaries on their wins at the November 6 Major, and just like that, we're done. We thoroughly hope that you've enjoyed these recaps. I'm Caliber Jacob. Thank you so much for watching.